5 aggrieved governors of the People's Democratic Party, led by Nyesom Wike of Rivers State, are scheduled to have a meeting this Thursday in London, the United Kingdom. And the rest of the governors, including Seyi Makinde of Oyo, Okezi Ikpeazu of Abia State, and Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State, and the Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom, recently all withdrew their membership of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council, insisting on the removal of the national chairman of the party, Iyorchia Ayu. Last month, Governors Wike, Makinde, and Ortom had also met in London, and today's meeting is expected to take certain decisions ahead of the 2023 elections. The widening gulf between the contending forces within Nigeria's main opposition party was pretty obvious during last Monday's presidential campaign kickoff in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, with the absence of Wike. Joining us now to dwell a bit on what has gone wrong and why finding a practical solution to the party's many problems is Diran Odeyemi, a former PDP Deputy National Publicity Secretary. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Odeyemi. Thank you for joining the show.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure speaking with you this afternoon.
Well, as was said in the intro, there is a myriad of issues that the PDP need to discuss and iron out. There is currently a meeting ongoing, but I want to know your opinion on the withdrawal of these governors from the campaign council and how it might affect things going forward.
No party will be happy to be in crisis. And the hallmark of a good political party is to be able to manage its crisis in such a way that will not escalate and affect its electoral fortune. It's unfortunate that we find ourselves in this situation in PDP. And virtually all the leadership have not been able to find a solution to the problem. And maybe because of my background, and because of where I'm coming from as a journalist, I'm very realistic. And I want to put it to you or agree with you that this is not the best of time for PDP. And there's no way it will not affect our results, at the presidential poll.
Well, Mr. Odeyemi, could it be...
If you look at it very well,
Please
Governor Wike and the people, in his camp are not just ordinary members of PDP. They are major pillars on which the campaign should stand. They are major members who has all the wherewithal to garner vote for PDP. But when they are against certain things in the party, I think the best thing would have been for the party to listen to them and find an amicable solution. And this is something must give way for peace to evolve in the party. So this is my area of concern, and this is why I will not join the people who believe that Wike and the group should go into places, or they are not, or they don't matter. They are very, very serious and important aspect of whatever we are going to achieve in PDP in 2023.
So, Mr. Odeyemi, could this crisis be due to a lack of genuine internal democracy within the PDP? Some people argue that it was a controversial decision, to throw the party's presidential ticket open that led to this issue. And if the PDP itself cannot manage its internal democracy, how then does it want to manage the country's democracy?
This has been the internal campaign against ourselves. That if we are not able to manage ourselves, how do we want to manage the country? And it's a serious issue. And I want to agree with you at the same time that this crisis started from the presidential election, whereby rather than zone the presidency to either the north or the south, it was left open for everybody to come in, which shouldn't be. And at the end of the day, when it happened that way, some leadership in the south believe that, when you are talking of the hierarchy in PDP, when you choose the presidential candidate as the leader of the party, then you should choose somebody else from the south, to be the deputy or to be a co-partner in decision making after winning the election. But in these circumstances, we have the presidential candidate from the north, we have the chairman of the party from the north. So the agitation was that let the chairmanship come to the south, so that at the end of the day, we will have a balancing equation whereby the presidential will be from the north and the chairman will be from the south. And whenever a decision is to be taken after winning the election, then we have somebody speaking for the north and another person speaking for the south. But in this situation, there has not been headway. And they have put forward the video recording and the audio of the chairman, Iyosha Ayu, knowing fully well that it will not be in consonance with, the ethics of the party's constitution. If the presidential candidate is from the north and the chairman is from the north. And I want to believe that was the reason why he said at the initial stage that should a presidential candidate emerge from the north, he will step down. But this is not the situation. And Autumn put it right. If at all you are changing your mind and you believe as the chairman you are key or central to this election, then what you should do is call everybody together, apologize and withdraw your earlier statement, and let us see what we can do for ourselves. I think this is a kind of a window opportunity to say we are still open to peace. But where some people believe that let us go ahead with the campaign. After all, we can rely on the crowd that we saw in New York to indicate that we have won the election. I am not that. I don't believe in that. If Obi, Tinubu, or whoever calls, go for a rally today, you will see the same number of crowd. It doesn't matter. That's why I don't believe in crowd as a way of winning an election. It is more strategic. It involves a lot of planning, underground planning, and not the crowd in New York, or you rely on them and say the other people does not matter. I don't believe in that.
Well, Iyosha Ayu has dug his heels into the sand, and he says he is not leaving. Wike and other members that are behind him are obviously still very aggrieved, and it almost seems that we can tell which side you might be falling on in this argument. But now we know that there have been mediators that have been called to weigh into this issue. Former Senate President David Mark, former River State Governor Peter Odeyemi, and former Delta Governor James Ibori. Yes, and James Ibori. Now, the three of them, political titans all on their own, will be putting heads together to try and resolve this issue of inequality and imbalance within the PDP in order to settle the factions. Do you think this is a step in the right direction? Do you think this would be enough to placate the Wike camp, so to speak? And if not, what else needs to be done? Because we do know Iyosha Ayu has said he is not stepping down.
No efforts put towards achieving peace in PDP is wasteful. Even if you want to add more people that will placate the wicked group, I will support it. All that I am saying is that we cannot call the bluff of certain or some pillars and big wigs in the party and believe that we can go on with the campaign. So, and in politics, 24 hours is a long time. If tomorrow you are able to placate wicked group or you are able to pacify them, and of course, just like I said, Autumn has given at least a leeway into peace that, look, even if we are saying you should not resign again, you still need to talk to us. Communication matters in this. And I want to call on all stakeholders to sit down and have a rethink that we need everybody to win this election. Because it is a bad strategy if at this point we are losing votes. Because there is no way you can jettison the decision or the anger of some governors, about 6 of them, and think you can make success. I don't think it is possible. It's a deficit before even going into the election, because you are counting your loss, whereas election is the game of number. The more, the merrier. So no effort is wasteful. And I will support whatever effort we bring everybody on board to ensure that we are one going into this campaign together.
Now, Mr. Odeyemi, on the flip side, some people are also arguing that this crisis in the PDP is all about individual egos. For instance, if the real issue is about having a national chairman from the South, why was Uche Secondus removed? Was it due to the fact that some southern candidates or a particular southern candidate thought he would emerge as the party's presidential flag bearer?
You are delving into the internal politics that is in all political parties. If you don't want anybody to splash mud or water on you, you don't move near the river. If you cannot play politics, internal politics, then there is no essence of being a member of any political party. So whatever happens to Uche Secondus, of which I was part of that administration, whatever is happening or how Ayu became the national chairman and how some people are now saying, yes, it should be removed. All these things are politics, internal politics that you will see in all political parties. So there's nothing new there. Absolutely nothing new. It is internal politics. And people are in politics for larger interest, but it starts with self-interest. So whatever it is that is playing out today, it's about me first, then larger interest. When I say me first, look at it. Iyosha Ayu that is now the chairman today. Despite the fact that some people are saying, yeah, you should be honorable and stick to your word to resign if presidential candidate comes from the north. And we still have some people, even in PDP, that are giving him vote of confidence that yes, he should continue as the chairman. Where is the honor? Well, then what are we talking about? It is all politics and it depends on how you play it. So that some people worked against Secondus to leave office, so some people worked for you to be the chairman, and some people are now passing a vote of confidence. They are all internal politics that we always see.
Well, for joining us this afternoon and for your time, Diran Odeyemi, thank you so much for joining us, former PDP National Publicity Secretary with us.
Deputy National Publicity Secretary.
Thank you for the correction. Thank you for joining us.